Hello all and welcome to the second amateur game analysis I make on YouTube. This is a game in normal time settings. It's a team match and two players are a 1900 player for white and a 1730 for black. White starts with e4, black plays e5, knight f3, knight f6, known as the better of defense, knight c3. Transposing into the four knights is an option here with knight c6. However, black makes a mistake already with d7, d5. White seizes his chance because he takes the pawn on d5. Black takes back. White wins the pawn on e5, and after knight takes c3 and b takes c3, white simply is up a pawn. Black develops for tempo. Bishop to d6. Now the next move is knight to c4. I like this idea a lot. White had several options. He could retreat to f3. He could place his knight on d3, but then he would block in his bishop. And also by placing his knight to c4, he directly attacked the bishop on d6, and he prepared to fall back to e3 to fortify the white's position. It's a good idea to fortify if you're a pawn ahead. Of course, wild play always is the most exciting, but when you're ahead material, it usually is just best if you want to win the game, especially in team matches, to take it easy. Then knight c4, bishop falls back. Black decides he wants to keep the bishop there. Perhaps better was to castle kingside. After bishop e7, white develops to d3. Once again, this might seem odd, but I think that this really is a good choice of white. Of course, he is blocking in his pawn on d2, and normally we would try to occupy the center with pawns. White has more pawns, so he could take central control by d2, d4, which also would have been quite a good move. However, the bishop on d3 is standing there excellent. If black castles kingside, and I think he must, then it's already hitting h7, and there's not an easy way for black to remove the white bishop from its post. After black castles kingside, white castles kingside, and black plays bishop e6. White develops his queen to f3. Now black sees that the white queen hits b7 and tries to prevent capture by playing c7, c6. It's not a very sound move because it prevents the capture, but I'm not sure if white should capture that, and it prevents the black knight to come out to c6. Rook e1, knight to d7. I think a better move would be something like bishop to a3, trying to trade the bishops. Trading always favors the side which is ahead, so I think it would be a good try. However, white decided to play a2, a4. It does prevent b7, b5, and perhaps still with the idea of bishop a3, the white rook can take on a3 then instead of the knight, because it is a usual bad idea to place the knight on the rim. Bishop d5, hitting the queen. Queen retreats. Now I think I get the idea of retreating and building a fortress. However, queen to f4 is I think a bit better. It's just more active on f4 than it is on e2. Rook to e8. Now the knight falls back to e3. Very well placed. It defends the position from white very good, and is preparing to fall into action to the black camp if it wants to. Bishop to g5. Bishop to b2, developing the bishop. Knight f6. And now c4 is a good move. It hits the bishop, it opens the diagonal for the white bishop, and black has to step back. Now black plays his queen to f3 again. It prevents a potential pin of the white knight to the queen. And besides that, on f3 it stands a bit better. h7, a6, not best. Bishop to c3. I think this is a hard one to find in actual gameplay. It's a very sound move. On b2 the bishop is loose. It's not defended at all. Also the pawn on d2 is not defended. And with bishop b2 to c3, the pawn on c2 is defended by the bishop is defended by the pawn. This structure seems to be very self-supporting here. Besides that, if we take a pause and look at the position, then we can see the white's bishops are very well placed and aiming at the black king side. The white knight also is ready to jump into action, and the white queen also is aimed for a king side attack. So despite white playing very cautiously, it is steadily building up attack on the black position. Black plays king c7, queen c7, and now knight f5. Very sharp move, I think. Bishop takes f5. Now queen takes f5. White is threatening to win the black knight. If black does nothing here, let's say something like queen to d6, then white can simply take the black knight, because if black would take it back, then we have check, king to f8, and checkmate. So he has to do something about that, and he reacts with move g7, g6. I think it's a good move to play, but you can notice here that the black king doesn't have very much support in comparison to the white king, which is best defended by his own pawns. Queen f3. Queen f3 is okay. Knight to d7. Queen to g4. And knight to c5. Knight to c5 of course attacks the white bishop and hopes to release some of the pressure on the white's king position. However, this actually is a game losing mistake. You can pause the video and try to find a tactic if you want to. I'll continue in 3, 2, 1. Okay, the winning continuation is queen to d4. Double attack. It attacks the black knight and it also threatens mates. If black would try to prevent a mate by placing his knight to e6 and covering the g7 square, then white simply places his queen one square further and leaves the mate on h8. So black is lost here. Black continues here with f7, f6. White takes and the game is over. Normally I would stop the analysis here, but a few more moves later there is another tactic which might be fun to solve. Let's see. Not yet. And here it is. White to move and win even more material. I'll give you the answer in 3, 2, 1. Now, the correct move, or the best move, is queen takes a7. It attacks the black queen, which is pinned. If it decides to take on b4, then we have checkmate. And if it's not take, well, and if it does not take, then simply it will be captured the next move. You can postpone it by playing the pawn, then takes the pawn, and we have the same situation again. Thank you for watching. If you want me to do analysis of one of your games, you can send me your PGN. Don't forget to tell me what the ratings of both players are. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.